Stories of haunted places and other spooky things are an integral part of our daily dosage of entertainment. All the interesting supernatural stories we know today come from folk and chess gazette, but we cannot claim even in today's day and age that those stories were not true, especially the ones that come from folk. Talking about haunted places, they're distributed across the globe. You cannot nominate one country that has no such haunted place. Today's video's topic is 8 abandoned mansions. Abandoned why? Yes, you guessed it right, because of their supernatural influences that have made life incredibly difficult for their new occupiers. Welcome back to 10 Town. Today we're here with a list of 8 haunted mansions in the world. But before we move on to these horrible mansions, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos. So without any further ado, let us dig right into the list. 8. Chaonei No. 81, Beijing, China. In general, the Chinese are one of the most superstitious nations across the globe. If you're traveling to China, you should learn about their common traditions, because even the gift you choose for your Chinese host might make him uneasy. Talking about superstitiousness, Chinese avoid the number 4 because it is considered a symbol of bad luck. Even the color black is avoided because they believe it's a color of death. So keeping all these common Chinese nuances in mind, it's easy for us to digest that a mansion in China could be haunted. Fingers crossed. Known as Chaonei No. 81, this house was completed in 1910 and was reportedly built by the Qing imperial family as a church for British residents of Beijing. In 1949, after the communists defeated the nationalists in the Civil War, a high-ranking nationalist official who was living there said to have deserted his wife or perhaps his concubine and fled to Taiwan. The woman was so devastated that she hanged herself from the rafters of the 3-story mansion, and local residents believe that her spirit has haunted the abandoned home ever since. These locals tell the visitors to not enter this mansion because the spirit inside is agitated for what she has suffered under the roof of this place. 7. The Sultan's Palace. After hearing the term Sultan, you might be thinking if we're going to talk about someplace like in India, but you'll be very surprised to know this place is actually in France. The house at 716 Dauphine Street is a classic French Quarter beauty with classic wrought-iron balconies and a large courtyard, but the question is, how is this place haunted? In the 1800s, this residence was a house of horrors for the Sultan, a wealthy man with a depraved lifestyle, multiple wives and children, and a harem of women and young boys held against their will. Neighbors complained about the mysterious habits of this man, who had a predilection for partying, opium, and torture. But the greatest mystery in the house was the Sultan's demise, when he was buried alive in the courtyard after his family and harem were sliced to pieces in a bloodbath by an unknown perpetrator. Today, his angry spirit is thought to be responsible for the unusual noises, loud music, and strong incense smells that waft from the home, as well as unwelcome advances on past female residents who swear the Sultan is still up to his old tricks of groping female visitors. On a lighter note, we can surely claim about the Sultan that the rope is burnt, but the knot is still there. Before moving further, we have a little challenge for you. Let us see how many of you have what it takes to smash the subscribe button. It's not a spooky experience, but we'll make sure it's worth it. Getting back to our list, the Liu family mansion. The old Liu family mansion, commonly known as Minxiong Ghost House, is one of the most famous haunted locations in Taiwan. It is situated in the countryside near Chiayi, a provincial city in the southwest of the country. This building has multiple floors, and it would have once been a wonderful place to live, but at some point in the 1950s, the Liu family upped sticks and left the property for good. Some theories suggest that it's haunted by Japanese imperial army soldiers who died in a battle on the site. Normally, theories about such places are interrelated, but you'll be very surprised to know that in this case, they're not. The other more commonly known theory is that the master of the house, Liu Rongyu, an affluent merchant and landowner, had an affair with his maid. Shamed by the discovery of the liaison, the maid is said to have committed suicide by throwing herself down the well. Her spirit came back to haunt the Liu family on a nightly basis. Eventually, the Liu family could not take it anymore and deserted their ancestral home, leaving it to the mercy of wandering souls, nature, and the occasional curious living visitor. 5. Chateau Miranda, Belgium. Just look at this place for once. Does it not look like the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry from Harry Potter movies? Believe us, it is a different place, but it's haunted, so at least one trait is common. Chateau Miranda Mansion was built for the Ledekirk Beaufort family in 1866. which relocated there following the French Revolution. It stayed in the family until World War II, when it was repossessed by Belgium's National Railway Company. It housed sick and orphaned children until 1980, after which it was abandoned. The castle has stood empty and completely abandoned since 1991 because the costs to maintain it were too big. A search for investors failed. Parts of the structure were heavily damaged in a fire, and many areas of the ceiling are collapsing. Although there were a number of offers to buy it, the previously ornate castle was slated to be demolished last year. Common theories are that the emptiness of such a huge mansion invited many supernatural influences. 4. Villa de Vecchi, Italy. Here's another house with a sad story. Count Felix de Vecchi commissioned architect Alessandro Sedoli to construct a family home from his in the mountains above Lake Como in the 19th century. Sedoli died a year before he completed the project, and after it was completed and de Vecchi and his family moved in, the nobleman came home one day to find his wife murdered and his daughter missing. He committed suicide after fruitlessly searching for his daughter, and the mansion passed to his brother, but it's been abandoned for decades now. People make claims of hearing unusual noises at night, even when there's no one inside. 3. Elda Castle, New York. All of us love Abercrombie & Fitch clothes. For those who do not know about Abercrombie & Fitch, it's an American lifestyle retailer that focuses on casual wear. Its headquarters are in New Albany, Ohio. The company operates 2 other offshoot brands, Abercrombie Kids and Hollister Co. The company operates 1,049 stores across all 3 brands. You might be very surprised to know that this abandoned castle belongs to the owner of Abercrombie & Fitch. At one point, the 4,337 square foot home had 25 rooms, including servants' quarters. It sat empty for a number of years following the couple's deaths and fell prey to damage from vandals, including fires and paint poured on the marble floors, according to Country Living. Now it's for sale for $3.5 million, but buyer beware. The listing notes that the castle is in need of total renovation. 2. Bannerman Castle, New York. Located on a small island in the Hudson River about 60 miles north of Manhattan, the castle was constructed by Scottish-born arms dealer who bought the island in 1900 to house his munitions arsenal. In 1920, 2 years after Francis Bannerman's death, 200 tons of ammunition exploded. Parts of the house, including windows, were destroyed. The island has been vacant since 1950, but it's open for tours today. Although there are no supernatural stories related to this one, yet its outlook is very fearsome. Especially at night, you might have a heart attack because of your placebos if you visit this place in the darkness of night. 1. The Atchison Sallie House. Legend has it that the cause of all the mayhem at one of the most disturbing haunted houses in America stems from a little girl who was the victim of a botched appendectomy during a house call at the turn of the century. A family who lived in the Sallie house in the 1990s documented their experience on the TV show Sightings, which talked of flying objects, frequent apparitions, and scratching and gouging and shoving, mainly directed at the male owner. The home is now vacant, but it's a popular pick for paranormal researchers, and anyone can book the house to stay the night, if you dare. So guys, that was our list of 8 haunted mansions. Do let us know which one fantasized you the most. Do you love listening to spooky stories? If you have your own interesting story about today's video's topic, feel free to share it with us. Your suggestions play a vital role in helping us create better content for you, so don't forget to give your feedback. If you guys liked our content, go ahead and give us a thumbs up and do consider subscribing to our channel. We'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.